I haven't done a talking video by myself in a long time. No wait, stop recording. Hey people, it's your girl Stacey, and yeah, we're back with another one. I hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's, you know, moving through life with peace, with ease, with grace. But yeah, today, like, we're just gonna like talk about something that I've had on my mind for a very long time. So obviously, you know, like, I thought I'd like record a video where I'm just sat, chilled, indoors, just talking, because a lot of my like recent uploads have been me on the move, on the go. There's nothing wrong with that. I do like, you know, being active and showing you guys what I get up to. But I thought I'd take it back to my my roots, because obviously when I first started my channel, a lot of my uploads were me just sat indoors, often against a plain wall, just talking. And I think when you're talking about like important issues, like the one I'm gonna talk about today, it's important to just be sat, you know, just so like there's no distractions from what it is that you're talking about. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, so today I'm basically gonna talk a bit more about stammering, also known as stuttering, the do's and don'ts when talking with and engaging in a conversation with a person that has a stammer or a stutter. So for those of you that like are new here, or for those of you who might not know me that well, I do have a stammer, also known as a stutter. I've had it for as long as I can remember. Obviously I think there was a period in my life where I didn't have a stammer, and then out of nowhere I got it. It stayed, and then after some time it went, and then I didn't have a stutter for some time, and then it came back again, and then it just kind of stuck. Obviously now it's not as bad as it could be, but I have gone through periods in life where it's been so bad that I can't even like string together like a complete sentence. But I was grateful enough to start speech therapy in 2019, I believe, for like a year or two. I think less than 3 years, more than 2 years, at the Michael Palin Center for Stammering, which is like based in like North London. It's like, so it's not too far off from like King's Cross, not too far off from Angel. So it's like in Islington, wedged between Angel and King's Cross. And honestly, speech therapy with them changed my life. It changed the way I think about myself, think about stammering, and just like my like self-worth. Because for a lot of us growing up, especially in school, being a school kid with a stammer was character building, to say the least. Kids, as we all know, can be so mean. And I remember in school, like, I'd be in like English class where we'd like be like, we'd have like set texts like of mice and men, and your teacher would literally have you guys like sat round, and you'd all have to like take it in turns to read a passage of the set text each. So I remember where, cool, say if like 2 people ahead of me are on their bit, I would literally count down to see where I would have to come in, and then in my head I'd be like practicing what it is I would have to read out. And obviously there'd be times where I'd like read through the lines with like no blocks, or like without stumbling on like my words. But then there were also times where I would stumble on my words. Some people would like snicker, laugh, tease, and all that stuff. And for a long time it would get me down, because obviously it's like I knew, and I like more time I know what it is I want to say, but it's just getting it out that is the issue. Or it comes out, but like I'm stuck on that word, and it literally comes out like a car's engine that like you're trying to like. So obviously, do you know when you like when you rev the engine of a car, it's like so imagine you being stuck on a word where it's like, cool, say like I want to say stop that, I'm literally stuck on the word stop. So it's like yeah. So there'll be times where I'd like be stuck on a word, or I'd be trying to get a word out and like it's not coming out. So it's almost like I'm out of breath, and then kids would laugh. Sometimes some teachers would like laugh but I guess for a lot of the teachers it was more so like they thought that they were laughing with you to sort of take away the edge or take away like how anxious you felt, but more time it just made it worse, because them laughing, even though it is like an anxious laugh, gives the rest of the students permission to laugh as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's almost like the rest of the kids thought, like the rest of the kids were encouraged to tease by the sheer fact that the teacher was laughing. But then obviously my English teacher, the sweetest person in the world, Mrs. O'Brien, she was always so patient with me, always like she would encourage me to take my time, stop, and then she would encourage the rest of my peers to, like, you know, just sort of allow me to take my time, and eventually the words would come out. But then after some time, I remember when it got to a point where it was proper bad, I just said to her, I don't want to read. And then yeah, so let's take it back. I just thought I'd give some context. According to the internet, stuttering, also known as stammering, let's see what it even says. Stammering meaning okay, so to stammer is to speak with sudden involuntary pauses and a tendency to repeat the initial letters of words. So obviously from the context that I've just rolled out, the definition should make sense. But yeah, basically I want to make this about the do's and don'ts of when talking to a person that stutters. So obviously I've looked online and there's like lists of what you should and shouldn't do. I'm gonna take a bit from what like they say, and obviously I'm gonna add my own 2 cents based on my life experience. I'm 26 years old. I've lived enough to know how I want people to be with me and how I don't want them to be with me. But yeah, I'll give a list and then I'll like make it more personal to me and just tell you guys a bit more about like speech therapy and like my journey and my growth to becoming the somewhat confident person that I am today, with the way I speak and the way I present to people who know me and people who don't know me with regards to my speech. Because I definitely do think that now, compared to like previous years, now if I'm speaking and I stammer, it doesn't really get to me as much as it did before. If I stammer, I don't even like look to see how the person responds. I just carry on as if like everything is normal, because everything is normal. The average person in their life has at least stammered once. It's just that for people like me, we have a stutter, but everyone stutters from time to time. You know, people stammer when they're nervous, when they're angry, when they're anxious, when they're upset. It's just that for people like me, it's our everyday lives, isn't it? So I feel like in that sense we can all empathize with how annoying it can be to stammer, especially when people around you aren't being patient or aren't encouraging you to get your words out. So yeah, first one, things not to do. I think this one really annoys me. It doesn't really happen that much, just because the people around me sort of, they know me well, and we've had talks about how I want them to sort of like be with me, especially with regards to my speech. So don't make, I mean, as helpful as you think that you might be being in that moment, it doesn't really help. If anything, it makes us more anxious. So don't make remarks like slow down, take a breath, relax, or breathe, especially when we're like stammering, or we're like, or we've reached a block, or trying to get our words out. Because more time, bro, if it was like that easy to like slow down and breathe, I would be breathing. Do you get what I'm saying? So more time, if someone's like trying to get their words out, if they're stuck on a particular word, just maintain eye contact, even if it is awkward. Because I know sometimes when people are stuck on a word or like they've reached a block, their expression can be a bit like, but just, you know, maintain eye contact as you normally would, and just wait for them to get their words out. Patience really helps. You know, it makes the person feel like you're interested in what they have to say. Because me personally, if I've reached a blockage, or if I'm struggling on a word, more time I am frustrated. I'm probably more frustrated than you are, even though you might not have time and you're trying to hear what I'm trying to say. I'm probably more frustrated at myself than you are at me. So yeah, just, you know, just wait for me to get my words out, and please try to maintain eye contact, because it really does help. Me personally, if I'm stuck on a word and someone breaks eye contact, I instantly, and even if this may not be the case, and it's just I'm a person who just overthinks, I just automatically think that the person isn't interested in what I have to say. I think that I'm taking up too much of their time. I think that I'm wasting their time, and I just think that they'd rather not be talking to me. So like, yeah, maintaining eye contact really does help, and just waiting, and just, you know, I think with these things, body language, you know, helps a lot. If you're like turned towards me and like I can see that you're engaged, eventually I will get my words out. Because what happens, if you say stuff like slow down, sometimes people will snap, because it's like, bro, I'm trying to slow down, I'm trying to breathe, I'm trying to relax, and then we just end up like eventually getting the words out, but we just feel crap. And then cool, you've gone off, the conversation has passed, but then that one situation is still playing on our minds. So yeah, like, you know, if possible, refrain from making remarks such as slow down, breathe, relax, calm down, that you think might be helpful, but it really isn't as helpful as you think it is. Yeah, so next thing, just right off the bat of what I just said, maintain eye contact, like natural eye contact, patiently, and just wait, because it does help. You know, in eye contact, I feel like we're like social creatures, and maintaining eye contact is just one of the many ways that you can show a person that maintaining eye contact is just one of the many ways that you can show a person that you're interested and you're engaged in what they have to say. Also, this one that used to annoy me a lot growing up, now not really doesn't, because I'm older, I'm mature, I'm like grounded. Well, I'm more grounded in myself. Don't try to complete the sentence even if you think you know what it is I'm trying to say, because more time you don't, unless you know me very well, and even then, please don't, because it is frustrating. We're adults, I'm an adult, I know what I want to say, I have every right to communicate and convey what it is I'm trying to say. You completing my sentence makes me feel as though you think I'm incompetent, or I'm a child, or I'm incapable of communicating what it is I'm trying to say. And I get it, like, you know, because from like my like peers and my like family, and you know, I've had conversations where it's like, no, like they just want to help, and you know, they want to ease away the strain, because hitting a block, especially with speech, really does like hurt your stomach, because you're pushing, you're trying to get the words out, and obviously they can see that you're struggling, so they just want to like end the strain and just complete it. But honestly, that makes me feel like crap, because it's almost like what it is it's almost like I don't get to like say what it is I want to say, and then it's just left in my head. So it's like, yeah, don't complete sentences. Sometimes now, cause like I'm at a good place with my speech, and I can play around with it and like joke around with it and stuff. More time, if I've reached a block and I'm just like, yeah, I can't be bothered, I'll sort of give my like friends and family, like, you know, the cue to sort of, yeah, like let them know that it's okay to complete what I'm trying to say. But yeah, try not to do that, because it's not that helpful. On the phone, I think until taking part in speech therapy, I found phone calls, especially with strangers, like the GP or just any kind of place where I have to call to make an appointment or to make a booking, daunting, because more time the person on the other end of the line doesn't know me, they don't know my background, they don't know that I'm a stammerer. Oftentimes they're quite impatient, so I feel like making calls was very, very daunting for a very long time. But thanks to like Jane, my speech therapist, I've been able to overcome that. Till this day, sometimes it does get me, you know, sometimes I'm like, if I can avoid making a call, I will, but it's not as crippling as it used to be. So yeah, if you're on a call with a person who you know stammers, or even if you don't know, say if you're speaking to a person and out of nowhere it goes quiet, just wait, ask them, are they there? Obviously when say if the other person who's got a stammer has reached a blockage, even if you, it's called a block, even if you ask them are they there, they might not be able to, like, you know, get the words out to say yeah, I'm there. But just be patient, give them grace. Yeah, on the phone, just be patient, because even till this day, when I'm talking to like my loved ones and even people that I know, I do stammer on calls. But yeah, more time they're patient and they let me get out what it is I'm trying to say. So yeah, I've reached the end of this list. I think for me, what else can I think of? So I've given a lot of don'ts. Let me give some do's. Do just act normal. I think for me, before I became comfortable with my speech, I had like a crippling fear of being infantilized. I think that's a word, where people will hear me speak and automatically think I'm dumb, when that's not the case. People who have speech impediments such as stammerers are some of the most intelligent people you ever meet. It just so happens that the way in which we speak isn't like most people, you know. Like, I wouldn't say that my speech has any effect on like my mental capabilities or even like how I go about life. It just means that, you know, certain things have to be done in a different way. But yeah, it's never held me back. Got an A in English Lit, A star in RE, A in history at GCSE. So it's like, you know, people who have stammers are capable. So yeah, just be normal. I think for me right now, in my life right now as an adult, I just want to be treated like normally, because I am normal. I don't want to be like treated as like something that I'm not. Just treat me like everyone else, because like it's normal. I feel like I'm still like Stacey, I'm still me. I just speak in a much different way to tell you. I think now compared to like a lot of my other uploads, I think I'm like, some people might not have even like clocked that I have a stammer. I think today it's like more prominent because I'm tired and I literally have like the worst night's sleep. And again, things like that affect people with speech impediments. So stress, being tired, being anxious, intense, heightened emotions like anger, sadness, frustration. So don't watch my other videos on my channel and think, oh wait, she doesn't have a style, or hers isn't that bad. I'm grateful enough that when it comes to like the scale, I'm not as far up as I used to be, but there are times where I am. I think this video compared to any that I've put on my channel, like I think here you can probably like, you'll probably be able to see like my speech impediment like properly. But I think I picked a good day to record it. I picked the day where I'm tired, I'm running on like less sleep to do it, just to like give you guys a greater insight as to how like things like anxiety, stress, fatigue can affect the person with a stammer. So yeah, days like this, my speech isn't the greatest, but thanks to speech therapy, I'm able to overcome the like hurdles like I'm doing today. But yeah, I hope you're able to make sense of what it is I've said. Overall, see, just now I got a bit frustrated at myself, because it's like in my head I know exactly what I want to say, but it's just not coming out. But yeah, yeah, and if you have any questions about like stammering and whatnot, just yeah, comment below. I think I might do a separate video on like obviously now I'm in like a committed relationship, but like dating, when I was first like, you know, like coming into myself and like coming out as like queer, gay, dating as a person that has a stammer was daunting, because I was always like, oh, I don't know if I'll come across someone that's ignorant, because a lot of people are ignorant. Like till this day, not a lot of people know about like speech impediments or like stutters, because I feel like people, even till this day, especially online, they use it as a way to tease. It's almost like if you're having an argument, yeah, with a person, the minute like you stutter, you've lost accordingly anyways. So it's like, you know, like it's always used in like a jokey way. So yeah, I was always like scared that, oh, I might come across a person that's ignorant, or like I'd have to like over educate them, which I did a few times. I'd have to tell people, look, I've got a stammer. It doesn't affect anything, it just so happens that this is the way I speak. So yeah, let me know if you want me to do a different separate video about that, because that was interesting. But yeah, overall I hope I've given you like somewhat of a sneak peek into like what I believe are the do's and don'ts when interacting with a person that has a stammer. I think at a later stage I'll give people an insight into what speech therapy was like, because honestly it was life-changing, just learning about like different techniques. I don't remember the name of the specific techniques, but there was one technique that was honestly life-changing. I love music, I love listening to music. I don't know how to sing, but this one technique that I learned, the way you carry it out and the way you execute the technique is as though you're like singing a song or a tune. And I noticed that for a lot of people who stutter, the only time that they don't is if they like if they're singing a song. I don't really understand why, but I think there's a whole like science behind it. But yeah, that's also interesting to look at. It's like if I try to say, okay, cool, twinkle twinkle little star, I'm gonna try to sing it, twinkle twinkle little star. Like I don't know like what the difference is between speaking and a song, but yeah. So but yeah, I think it'll be interesting to do like at a later stage, talk about speech therapy and what that was like. Honestly, life-changing. Just to add, me taking part in speech therapy was never to like cure myself, because there is no cure. Like if you have a stutter, some say that some children outgrow it. I believe that to an extent, but yeah, not even to go into the whole like nature versus nurture debate, but I feel like me taking part in speech therapy, I went in, and I think this is like a very healthy mindset to go into it with. I went in with the mindset that cool, I cannot cure this speech impediment that I have, but I can at least cure or work on and work through my thoughts around it and my thoughts on myself, because I got to a point where like life, it sounds extreme, but life wasn't worth living in the way that I like really wanted to. I remember there was this one that exercise I did with my speech therapist where she said, she asked me to sketch out a physical representation of my speech impediment, and I literally drew like a stick me on a piece of paper, and I drew a cloud above my head, and in the cloud I think I wrote my stutter or my speech. And that's how it felt. It felt like, because look, like 90% of our lives include talking to people, interacting with people, and I struggled with that. And most especially I struggled like with regards to like my thoughts around my speech. And like I would talk to a person, I would stammer, they probably gone on about their day, and I'm still thinking about that occurrence in my head. I'm thinking, oh shit, I shouldn't have stammered. They probably think I'm stupid, or that I'm dumb, or that I'm an idiot, which a lot of the time wasn't even the case. So I went into speech therapy. It's crazy because although it was speech therapy, a lot of what we did here was like kind of like the things that you do with like a normal therapist. And I'm grateful because she never once like sold me dreams that, oh yeah, I'm gonna cure you, you're not gonna stutter anymore. She told me plainly, you most likely always have a stammer, but together we can work on your negative thoughts and feelings surrounding your speech. And that's exactly what we did. And I'm at a place where, cool, my stammer isn't me, it's just a part of me. Whereas before, my stammer was me, and that really consumed me, it consumed my thoughts, my emotions. Even like now that I look back on like events in my life, like university and sixth form, I didn't immerse myself enough, and I didn't do a lot of the things that looking back I really wanted to do because of my speech. In university, I really isolated myself because I was like scared and anxious of being judged for the way that I speak, which is sad. But looking back now, if I could like do it all over again, I wouldn't, because everything happens for a reason. But at the same time, I wish that I had looked into speech therapy earlier, because honestly it might have made me enter new spaces in a different light. Like in like university is crazy that I was like so scared of like stuttering that I wouldn't like, I'd go out of my way not to talk to people. But yeah, so yeah, you know, so I think we're in a better place with regards to speech now. It just annoys me sometimes, but it doesn't really get me low, because I'm just like, yeah, a stammer is just, it's just a small part of me, you know, just a small insignificant part of me, but it's not the whole of me. And now I'm able to make appointments by myself. I can call up my GP, I can call up the dentist, I can call up restaurants and say, you know, so it's, yeah, I feel like speech therapy overall just helped me. I'm just able to live my life. Do you get what I'm saying? Hope this video was insightful. I hope you learned a bit more about me, a bit more about stammering / stuttering as a speech impediment, and I hope that it's influenced your thinking and the way you move in the world, because anyone can like stammer, and more people stammer than we think. So yeah, just remember, be patient, maintain eye contact, and just be kind, because I feel like people with stammers, especially young people, are going through a lot as a result of their stammer, or they're going through the issues related to that, and also other issues in their lives, and they don't need you and all your judgment like adding to that. So yeah, thanks for watching. This is probably like the most personal issue or topic that I've touched on in recent times. I think my most personal that I can remember is like stepping into like your light, which is basically where I gave basically my like coming out story, so to speak. So if you've not watched that, definitely go back and watch that. I think I uploaded that like 2 years ago. But yeah, no, I'm glad, because I remember when I first started my channel, the person I know was like, oh, you know, I think I hinted in my like first 2 uploads, I hinted that, oh yeah, I've got a stammer, just to, you know, tell people like, if over the course of my like journey on this platform I like speak a particular way, this is why. They sort of asked me, oh, you know, they were like, oh, it'd be interesting if I like sort of did a video talking a bit more about it, you know, just to let like people who don't know what stuttering is know. Yeah, the grammar of the last sentence I just said does not make sense. But yeah, so basically, yeah, I'm doing this in response to a question that I was asked like 2 years ago. So late as it may be, it's here. So yeah, I hope it has an impact. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, because I feel like I don't know, like normally like when recording I have a beginning, middle bit and an end, but in this one I think I've gone from like Z to A to B to C to Y to back to A. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully you're able to make sense of what it is I've like said. But yeah, I think this is definitely another one that's like quite dear to my heart, and I hope that people who have stammers come across this. And yeah, I feel like a piece of advice that I'd give to my younger self is honestly just be patient with yourself, believe in your thoughts, because obviously eventually your thoughts will come out as words. Be confident in what you have to say, even if it takes you slightly longer to, you know, get the words out compared to like everyone else. And yeah, just be patient, because as you get older you will become more grounded and more confident in yourself and in other areas of your life, and that will have an effect on how you feel about your speech. that's me speaking from personal experience, the more confident, the more comfortable I've become in myself, in my age, the fact that I'm gay, I'm black, I'm from Ghana, so the more comfortable you become in yourself, it will all have an effect on how you feel about your speech. So yeah, that's my words of advice. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Like the video if any bit of what I said resonated with you. Comment your thoughts, because I think this one, out of a lot of the ones that I've done, I would really like to know people's thoughts, especially those of us who don't know that much about stuttering. Feel free to like share this on with anyone else that you feel might be interested in this, and yeah, subscribe if you'd like to stick around. I think I'm gonna be doing a few more like talking to the camera videos, because even recording this year, I was kind of like, I felt quite anxious because I haven't done one where I'm like sat on my own just talking to the camera. You don't have any distractions, and I think because I've done a lot of like vlogs where I'm on the move, for this one starting out I was definitely self-conscious like about my speech, especially because I'm tired today as well. But yeah, even take me and take this as an example. Just because I'm older, that doesn't mean that I don't still feel anxious about my my speech. It just doesn't knock me down for as long as it did before, or the impact isn't that impactful anyways. So yeah, I get frustrated, I get angry, I get annoyed, but I just move on. I'm like, at the end of the day, we move, you know what I'm saying? We actually move. And yeah, I'm still smart, I'm still, yeah, and like those that care about you will care about what you have to say. Those that are too impatient to like stop and to listen, F them anyways. You get what I'm saying? You're smart, you're beautiful in your own way, and you make the world a better place just by being in it. So yeah, thank you for watching. This is on. If you actually see what is under this, like, bro, it's so sad. I'm a beautiful person, but right now I'm on a journey, and the journey is not journeying, but do you know what I mean? I've got a side parting that I didn't even ask for, but you know, nah, it's peak, fam. Watching. See you in the next one.